Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to start a brand new series of full mix from start to finish using the Universal Audio plugin bundle suite. We're going to try to stick with the Spark plugins for the most part, which is the subscription service where you don't need to have Universal Audio hardware or an Apollo interface to use some of their plugins. Although we may dip our toe into a few of those plugins because I use them all the time and I want to show them to you. But the bulk of what we're going to do is the UA Spark stuff. You guys asked for it, we're going to do it. Now, if you didn't see, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I released a 4-video series on the SSL native plugins. If you didn't see that series where we did a full mix, link will be in the description box below. Check that out. We're going to release this series just like we did last time. We're going to do 1 video a day for 5. This will be 4 or 5 parts. 4 or 5 days in a row, so you don't have to wait long to see all the parts. Going to try to keep each video as short as possible. This one will be the longest because we're going to do drums today, and I also got to take you through the setup. So this might be drums part 1, and there may be a part 2 coming tomorrow. We'll see how long the videos are. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all of that. Now, before we jump in and I start showing you what we're going to do, a lot of comments came in on the SSL native series, which is great. Thank you so much for checking out the videos. I'm glad you're digging them. And some people have asked me about the multi-tracks for these sessions. These sessions, I don't have permission to give out the multi-tracks. However, if you check out my mixing courses on my website, and the course that you want to check out that pertains to this kind of teaching that we're doing with channel strips and analog style plugins is mixing with analog style plugins made easy. Check out that course. There's a 25% coupon code in the description box. You get multi-tracks with that. All of my mixing courses on my website, whether it's beginner, intermediate, or advanced, they all come with really great multi-tracks, and some of the more premium courses come with additional sets of multi-tracks, so you get really cool stuff to practice with, okay? I can't give out these tracks though, all right? So check that out. Anyway, is that it? I think that's it. Okay, so we're here in Studio One, Universal Audio. Let's start on the master. Well, let's first walk through the session, and let me give you a quick little snippet of what we're going to be working with. This song is by the band Burst and Bloom. The name of the song is Take It Back. Now, this song was produced and engineered by Jordan over at Hardcore Music, the YouTube channel, and I believe he's also one of either the developer or the owner or very highly tied into Black Salt audio plugins. That's where I got this session from, because I do a lot of Black Salt audio plugin demos for those guys. We're not going to use any in this series, but if you want that, let me know in the description box below. We could do a whole series using just their plugins. Anyhow, these multi-tracks came from their mixing, their academy that they have. So if you sign up for all their plugins and get their subscription, you also get access to their academy with tons of really great multi-tracks. So if you want those multi-tracks, that's how you have to get it. I want to thank Jordan for sending me this session so I can use it. I'm going to link all his stuff below. So I want you to go check them out as a way to say thank you for letting me use this session. And if you want this session, you need to go to Black Salt Audio, sign up, get into the academy, and they have a ton of great stuff. This is more of an indie rock track, but they also have a lot of hardcore stuff as well. Anyhow, let's take a quick listen. I have all these plugins on here, but nothing is anything but its default. As a matter of fact, I won't even bother shutting them off. We're going to walk through it. Here's Take It Back. Here's what we're going to be working with. All the fader is at 0, nothing's mixed, and then we'll jump into the plugin setup. Here we go.
By total strangers at a party, you think I'm too drunk to have this conversation. Take it back, take it back. Okay, I'm ready to go. Take it back, take it back. Step 1 and the damage is done. 2 and 3 before finally it's me. Oh, you never take it back.
That's what we're dealing with. What a great tune, man. Love this band. It's the first time I've ever heard any of their stuff, and I dig it. Hey friend, hope you're enjoying the video. Hey, do you need help with your home studio setup? Do you have questions about recording, mixing, and mastering and need personalized help? Or maybe you need some business coaching to turn your studio into a money-making machine. If so, stop wasting hours on YouTube searching for answers and conflicting advice. Book a private one-on-one Zoom session with me and let me help you end the frustration you're having with your studio so you can get back to what's important, making killer music. Click the link in the description for more info. Now back to the video. So again, go to Black Salt Audio's website, sign up for their plugins, sign up for the Academy. You can get this session and mix it yourself. Okay, also too, I want to mention, and again, I'm going to try to move quickly, but I just got to we're in the beginning of the series. I got to get out of the way. So because I'm using a song like this is not going to be monetized on YouTube in any way, shape, or form. So if you want to support the channel and you want me to do more series like these, if you would leave a super chat, I would really appreciate it, okay? You know, for less than a cup of coffee, a couple extra bucks, if everyone did that, it would really help me because I can't monetize these videos because I'm using songs that are already somebody else's. I want them to get the credit. I don't want to take any money from them. But these series take time to do. So a super chat would be super, super helpful if you wouldn't mind doing that. Okay, let's talk about what's in this session. So if we go from, here's kind of the layout. In brown here, we have our drums, kick, a kick sample, snare top, a snare sample, a side stick, snare bottom, hi-hats, 2 tom tracks, 2 overheads, a mono or stereo room track, a drum hall track, like a chamber kind of a thing, shaker, tambourine. We have a bass DI. We have a bass distortion track. We have a bunch of guitars here, which is cool. We got a couple of verses left and right, a couple of little lead licks left and right, some chorus guitars left and right, lead guitar left and right, a second lead guitar, and then we have a bridge section. Then we got some keyboards. We got an organ, a piano, and a Rhodes. Then we got a lead vocal 2, which is kind of the ad-libs and such. We got a chorus harmony, and then we got some background vocal tracks, and that is it. There are also a set of DI guitar tracks, which we're not using. As a matter of fact, in this session, I'm probably just going to remove the DI tracks. However, if you want, again, if you go to Black Salt Audio and you get a hold of this session, you can get the DI tracks, you can reamp the guitars if you'd like, but the guitar sounds sound great. Okay, let's talk about the plugins. Let's start on the master bus. Okay, so by the way, all these tracks are coming down to a busing system here, just like in the SSL series. I got a drum bus, a percussion bus, a bass bus, a guitar bus, a keyboard bus, lead vocals, background vocal bus. We have some effects here that we aren't using right now, but we will in the effects section 3 or 4 videos from now. I took some of my favorite delays and reverbs by UA, and we're going to use those because those things sound fantastic. Okay, let's talk about the master bus, which is this yellow track here called Video Print. Just think of this as the main out. This is only on a separate track called Video Print, so I can record the audio and the video separately here for post-processing for this video. Don't worry about that. So on the master bus, we are going to start with our compressor, the API 2500. And again, I'll tell you which ones are not Spark related once we get to them. Wow, that's nice and big, right? Let's shrink that down a little bit. We got the API 2500. Again, I picked the preset Mix Glue 2 and just tweaked it a little bit, okay? We'll get to this a little bit later and we'll walk through it. Now, the next plugin I have is not part of the Spark package, but I use this plugin on every single mix in the box and when I work analog, is the Oxford Inflator. I love this plugin. It gives some nice harmonic content, some nice little bit of distortion, a little bit of character, but it's not a Spark plugin. Then the Moog EQ4, which right now I have turned off. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. It depends on what the mix needs. I kind of keep it on my master bus as part of my template. Again, I don't believe this is a Spark plugin either. This next one is definitely not a Spark plugin, but I highly recommend it. This is the Case Stereo by Bob Katz. This is an old plugin from the UAD1 days. This is an ambient recovery. It gives a nice little stereo width and a nice little sense of depth to the mix, which we'll demonstrate later on. For my tape machine, I'm using my favorite tape machine on the planet, the UAD ATR 102. I am using the GP9 setting because I want it to be more modern sounding. This is a more modern sounding track, and I'm using the 1/2-inch tape. This is a Spark plugin. Okay, that's our master bus. If we're going to start with drums this time, so we'll just talk about the drum bus and the drums, and then we'll talk about the other instruments and the other buses and the other plugins once we get there. So on the drum bus, we're going to start off. Don't worry about the mix tool. That's just a placeholder. We're not even using that. That's just a stock plugin. We're going to use the Oxide tape machine. Again, this is a Spark plugin. on all of our tracks and our buses. Okay, we're going to start it on 15 IPS per second. We may engage the EQ and mess around with this. We're going to turn the noise reduction on, and we're going to use the repro heads. And then from there, drum bus, we're going to go to the 33609. This is not a Spark plugin, at least not as I record this video. Again, we're using a preset that's tweaked. Drum bus 2-to-1 ratio, slow attack, fast release. Okay? Got it? Got it? Good. Okay, we're going to start with drums. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to turn all the other tracks down just to keep it easy. Okay, so on each track, we're using Auto Align 2, which I've already done off camera. Don't worry about that. That's the only non-UA plugin we're going to be using. Oxide tape we're putting on every single track. Now, because these are mostly Spark plugins in this session, it's very low CPU intensive if people want to know. I have a modern Mac. I got a new Mac Studio M4, but it's just the base model. It's not spec'd out. Before that, I had the Mac Mini M2, and I could put just as many plugins on. It's totally fine. It barely touches my CPU. When you're using the non-Spark plugins, you need the universal audio hardware, and it takes the load off your computer, puts it on the DSP. But 90% of the plugins we're going to be using are all native Spark. This is on all our drum tracks. We're going to hit the tape machine first. And then from there on the drums, we're going to start with the Neve 1073. Again, yes, a Spark plugin, native plugin. This I love on drums because it's going to give you a nice thickness and power. We're going to show you that when we get to it. But the first thing I want to do is I want to, just on the drums, I'll just do this on the drums here. Everything is 0. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut off the tape machine. I want you to hear the tape machine is such a huge part to get that analog style mixed sounds hitting tape. Huge. And I just want you to hear quickly what this sounds like when I just shut off the tape machines at their default setting. Here we go. Here's some drums. So it gives it a lot of nice little bit of character, a little bit of compression, a little bit of thickness. I love the oxide tape. Sounds really great. Again, it's fairly subtle just on drums. You can do it on the whole mix, and we'll do this later when you shut it off. Big difference. Anyhow, let's start with our kick in. We'll just lower all these and start with one at a time. So here is our kick in track, or our regular kick, not our sample. So I want to drive the tape a little bit. Driving this signal into the tape with the input is going to give that more compression, is going to give it more of that tape vibe, and then turning down the output to level match. Instantly gives it that low end bump, which is really cool. Now let's go to our 1073 here. So again, I want to push this a little bit. So what I like to do on the 1073 is push a little bit of the preamp and then turn down the output to compensate. That's going to give us a little bit more of that girth underneath. That's what I love about a 1073. So if we boost this up a little, So without even using the EQ, just using the preamp, you can hear that real thickness underneath is what I really like about it. It just gives it a little bit more aggression, which is great. And you can do more or less. I'm using the mic side, but you can do the same thing on the line side. Just want to make sure we turn down the output so we level match it the best we can. Okay, now let's add a little bit of 50. Oh no, that's a low cut, sorry, don't want to do that. We want to go a little bit of 60 hertz here on our low shelf. Take out a little 360, and we can add a little bit of a 12K shelf if we want to hit a little bit of pop on this thing. So it cleans it up kind of nice, gives it a little bit more focus. Again, this is going to be more of the click. We got a sample that's going to give us more of the beef that we're going to blend in. Just make sure that when you boost this stuff that you level match the plugin by turning it down. Really like the way this sounds. Now, if we bring in our kick sample, let me lower this a little bit. Let's turn this up. Here's our kick sample. Sounds great already, right? Nice sample. We're going to use oxide tape again. So again, we will turn this down. Again, if we're going to hit a little bit of the preamp here. What's great about this thing, it's all stepped. There's all predetermined frequencies. Unlike the SSL stuff, we have variable right on the frequencies. These are all stepped. These frequencies are picked for a reason. And part of the time when people ask me about, students will ask me about, well, how do I get that Neve, that kind of analog sound like a Neve? Well, you got to use these kinds of plugins where you're using these kinds of frequencies that you can't just go between the frequency points like you can on some other plugins. You want to stay with something like this. This will give it that sound. These frequencies were chosen for a reason and they work great. That's the sound of these classic analog records, right? Or even modern records that are done analog like this. So again, let's turn down our output here because we're compensating for the preamp. Wow, we're really smacking that in there pretty good, huh? Let's even turn down the gain coming into this thing. Okay, let's give me a little bit of 60. So we'll click on that. I go, no, it's a little hard to see these plugins, but hopefully you'll see it. We're going to boost a little 60. Take a tiny bit out of 360. The sample just sounds great. So here's before. That nice low end, right? Now we're going to blend it with the other kick. Let's blend it in now. No compression yet, snare top. Start with the original snare. We're going 15 amps per second across all the tape machines, and this one we're going to engage the EQ to give a little bit more top end here. Okay, so here we go. So, and these got great presets too, by the way. If you're using these plugins, I'll show you. They got great presets. You can go to snare. We can go fatty snare. Okay, great. So they boosted the line input. They turned down the output. Let's see what that sounds like. Just for I think we need a little bit of top here. Let's go 5K. $4.8K to be exact. Okay, so this is before. Sounds good. Let's go to our snare sample. Let's blend it back in with our kicks now. And I know I always start off with too much kick drum. I know that's my thing here. I love the kick drums, love the way they sound. Okay, let's go to snare sample here. Let's see what we got for the snare sample. Cool sample. Let's just hit it a little bit harder. $1073 it again, and let's hit the preamp a little bit here. We'll go on the line side. Actually, I want to go on the mic side this time again. We're just going to turn it down here. We can turn it down. Now you may ask, well, why do you turn it down at this output as opposed to the fader? They modeled the sound of the fader and the circuitry in there, where the output is going to be more of a clean plus or minus. So you could do either one. Typically, I would take it out of the output and push the fader a little more. Gotta turn the EQ on. Here we go. Give it a little bit more fatness. Let's blend it in. Oh, here we go. You could almost just use the sample and get rid of the original, but we're not going to do that. Okay, now we also have a side stick that's on a separate track because in a couple of sections of the song here, the snare drops out and the side stick kicks in, so it's on its own separate track, which is good. Here we go. I think I just want a little bit of extra. Again, we'll hit this preamp, we'll turn it down. Maybe give us a little bit of 110 just to make it a little bit more, a little thicker. And a little bit of a shelf. Here we go. And we'll blend that with the guitars. That side stick is playing with other instruments, right? So we'll blend that when we get to it. Snare bottom. Let's go to snare bottom. Here we go. And let me get it to where we're not in the side stick anymore. We'll loop it. Let me know in the comments below how you like the pace of the way I'm recording these. I'm trying to go kind of quick because we're already at 25 minutes and I want to try to, let me know. I want to pace this right. And I know people don't like sitting through long videos, but it's hard to do these things and teach you anything in such a short amount of time. So I'm trying to balance that. So let me know how I'm doing. If I suck at it, just tell me. Here we go, snare bottom. Okay, let's turn down the output here. Probably should have just did this, copied and pasted all the settings, but nevertheless. Little bit of brightness at 5K, 4.8K. Let's do overheads next. You know, I like to do kick snare overheads before we start getting in the hi-hats. Let's just take a listen to the overhead. Okay, looks like it's gonna lean a little bit more. Okay, let's get out, we got our left, and then we'll pan it. Oxide tape. Cut out some of the mids at 360, not too much. I don't want to boost the top. There's a lot of cymbals in this, so I don't want to boost the top end quite yet. Let's copy this over to the other side. Paste. And let's get the other side up here, and then we'll pan them. Well, we'll pan them right now. Why not, right? We'll pan them right now. Hi-hats. I think it's going to go a little bit, it's more drummer's perspective, so, or excuse me, audience perspective is going to go tad to the right. But it's going to be pretty low in the mix. Okay, so we can get a section where we're not jamming up that massive hi-hat the whole time here, and then we'll go to the, well, we got to go to the toms next. Now the toms, he doesn't hit very much throughout the song here. There's a tom one and a floor tom here. Let's kind of check this out right here. Okay, let's listen to that. Let's go floor tom first, and let's see what we, or one tom one. let's see if we could put a little 110 in that. What's that going to do? Taking a little out of 360, getting a little bit of 12K on the shelf. Here's before. Okay, so it is audience perspective. Now we got a floor tom, another tom. Tom 2, I think he has 2 floor toms is what it sounds like, or that's a deep rack tom. Nevertheless, here's the second one. Adding a tiny bit of 110, low cut filter at 50, a little bit of a shelf, and a little bit of cutout at 360. We'll pan that over, and then let's see what we got. Let's work up to that, right? Let's work up to that section of the song if we can. Can we do that? Of course we can do that. Let's do that. Here we go. Okay, let's come back maybe this way a little bit, and let's take out our drum bus here, and then we'll end this video. We got a tape machine on the drum bus. Okay, give a little bit of sustain onto that snare, just kind of glues it all together. Again, we're doing, what are we doing? 2-to-1 ratio here, and we're doing a slow attack, fast release on the 33609. Let's take a look at the rooms. We have a room and a drum hall here. Let's listen to the room and see what we got going on there. Okay, so let's get this tape machine out here. Before I do anything with the EQ, I'm just going to hit the preamp. Let me turn this down a little. Let's hit the preamp. So I want a bigger room sound. So one new plugin here by Universal Audio, which I really like, is Sound City Studios. Again, this is a Spark native plugin. This is a great plugin. So we're going to put it on the reverb, not the remic for this one. We're going to check out some of the drum presets here. I picked super tight room. Let's see what this does just to the room sound. Way different, right? Let's go to tight. Let's see what that does. Kind of like that corner sound. Gets a nice lively sound. Now reverb is just going to give you the room. The re-mic is where you can start swapping out the microphones. Great, this thing has a lot of effects and stuff built in, like the chamber. Not even on. Dynamics. Oh wow, that's a lot, right? We don't want that. Now let's just blend this in. That's a lot of room, but we're not going to use that much room in our mix, I don't think. But let's just blend it in. Now we got, that sounds pretty good. I mean, again, this is pretty cool, man. If you want more of a crush sound, this is a great plugin, but you got to really tweak it. And I don't want to spend too much time doing this here, but using a preset and then just tweaking it, this thing has got a lot of versatility, man. Taking out a lot of 220 here in this EQ. So you can really make the room sounds completely different. This is kind of that same effect with this drum hall mic, which I really don't think we need now that we're using the Sound City. But let's let's put the tape on it. We may blend it a tiny bit. We'll see if we need it. You can use that instead of using the Sound City if you want, but I wanted to show you the Sound City. Which one sounds better, that one or this one? Yeah, let's check the master bus quickly on our API 2500. Gonna kiss it for now because again it's just on the master bus. I set the knee to a medium knee and I set the thrust to medium, and we'll talk more about what these controls are and what they do later on when we get down to the final mix and we're tweaking it all in. We're using the old style, old feedback mode, which is more of a smooth vintage kind of a vibe. The new feed forward mode is a more modern, which is probably better suited for this track. We can play with that later and check it out. Let's check the inflator. See how this thing gives it a nice sense of depth. This is a great plugin. It's an old plugin, but you need the hardware or an interface to run it. It's not a Spark plugin, but this is a secret weapon. I've been using this for years. Let's get to our wonderful tape machine. Look at that thing. How cool is that? Hello friend, I hope you're having a blast watching this video. Hey, I wanted to give you a heads up about my new website for my mixing services called mixingmusicanalog.com. I have a limited amount of spots each month to take on new clients, and I'm super excited to chat with you about your next project. And if you're a first-time client, you'll get a 25% discount. So be sure to click the link in the description, check out the website, and let's set up a Zoom call together to talk about your music. Now back to the video. That just adds so much character. And I know we got a lot of hi-hat happening, but once we start bringing bass in, okay, so there we go. So we'll get to this, we'll get to percussion and bass in the next video. So there is a quick rundown of our drums here with the Universal Audio plugin. So again, we're going to tweak this in as we go, so have no fear. We're just going to get a balance now, and as we bring in the other elements, we're going to go back and we're going to shift stuff in. But I really dig the 1073 on these drums. Let's just listen to that. Just if I take away the 1073. If I take away the tape machine, tape machine is another little secret sauce. If you've never done this before, running a tape machine on every track like this, even if you're hitting it pretty sparingly, you get a nice low end bump, you get a little bit of compression, right? Which is one of the reasons why, what don't you see on any of these drums right now? No compression, just a drum bus for now. We may go back and throw like a distressor or something on the snare. We'll see once we bring in the bass. But the tape machine acts like a compressor in a way. So right now I don't want to over compress these things. We may go back and we may do that a little bit later if we feel like we need it. So anyway, there's our drum sound for part one. Part two, we'll do percussion and bass. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, super chat if you're enjoying this series. It really does help. Again, all the links will be in the description box below for everything I talked about at the beginning of this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And until the next video, where we take a look at bass and percussion, I've been Dave with HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com. Thank you so much for watching and being patient with me today, everybody. And I'll see you in the next video.